I hear time and time again that Congress needs to get serious about addressing our debt. This rule provides for consideration of 2 members that cut wasteful and unnecessary spending. They responsibly fund the federal government and they support American production, pushing back on the ridiculous Green New Deal agenda under the Biden-Harris administration. Mr. Speaker, the Biden-Harris agenda does not achieve their stated goals. What it does do is it hurts our domestic producers and gives Russia and China a competitive edge. This legislation takes a serious step to address our debt, strengthen national security, and focuses funding where the American people need it.
None of this is serious. None of these bills are ever going to become law. All 4 of the bills are in line with the GOP's Project 2025, their dystopian plan to consolidate power in the presidency and take total control over our country and our lives. I've never seen lawmakers work so hard and force institutional staff to spend so much time putting in such extensive effort to do absolutely nothing. Nothing. This majority's superpower is wasting people's time. For the 2 bills that are included in this rule, they are just as unserious, and again, they will never, ever become law. An energy and water bill that raises energy costs and is full of more giveaways for big polluters. And an interior and environment bill that's potentially even worse, gutting funding for national parks. National parks! I mean, our national parks are like the only thing this country that has the only thing in this country that has 100% approval rating, and they're attacking national parks. Give me a break.
H.R. 8997 refocuses spending on things that matter. It eliminates wasteful spending on unnecessary and redundant climate change programs. It reins in the out-of-control regulation being implemented by the executive branch, and it prohibits funding from being used to promote DEI and CRT initiatives. And I don't think I need to go into all of the ways misguided DEI efforts are failing. It removes the Department of Energy's role in the LNG export application review process, something that has bipartisan support. And this legislation counters the very real Chinese and Russian threat by investing in national security and American energy production. H.R. 8998 right-sizes federal government, limiting burdensome and unnecessary regulations, respecting taxpayer dollars, and eliminating government waste. It strengthens our national security by encouraging domestic energy production, requiring the government to resume oil and gas leasing, and expanding critical mineral access on public lands like those in northern Minnesota. It respects the taxpayer by cutting government waste, including a 20% reduction in the EPA, reducing the Council of Environmental Equality to its authorized levels. And it removes the gray wolf from the endangered species list, an issue that hits home with so many people across this country dealing with the menace of wolves, including in my home state of Minnesota.
We heard last week that the Republican Party is newly focused on unity, toning down the rhetoric and bringing people closer together. Wow, that's rich. I mean, I guess they mean only to unite people under their extreme agenda, because the 4 funding bills we met on last night are part of the same unpopular, divisive, controversial, extreme MAGA agenda that they've been pushing since they came into the majority. If Trump and Republicans win in November, they promise to gut the checks and balances that protect our freedoms. They promise to advance abortion bans in every state, and they promise to give big corporations billions of dollars while increasing taxes for middle-class families. That's their plan for America. It is not about unity, it is about division. It is scary, quite frankly. These policies are centered around driving people further apart, not bringing them together. They even had to pull the agriculture and financial services bills because they were too extreme. They didn't even know whether they had the votes within the Republican conference to vote for these crummy bills. Just to reiterate, this rule only brings half of the bills we heard testimony on last night to the House floor. because the other half were so controversial, so divisive, so partisan, again, that the Republican leadership wasn't even sure they had the votes within their own conference. I have to say, what is the point of wasting time at the Rules Committee if these bills aren't ready for the floor? What they're doing, Mr. Speaker, is they're going after national parks while padding the pockets of big polluters. Follow the money, follow the money. And more culture war riders, more attacks on LGBTQ people. One of these bills has language to protect Confederate names on things. I mean, that is unifying? Commemorating the traitors of the Civil War? Enough is enough. This is just an awful, awful rule. And I urge my Republican colleagues to stop wasting people's time and vote no with us. And I reserve my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the opportunity. I'm listening to the ranking member. I think we got way, way off topic, and in some cases, people just tuning in may actually think it's a campaign rally. But here to refocus us on what is actually in this bill and what we are talking about is our colleague from Texas.
The gentlelady said that I was off topic in my opening speech. I've never been more on topic. I actually talked about the crummy bills that my Republican friends are bringing to the floor today. And the gentlelady in her opening speech talked about ag producers. Well, they pulled the ag bill. It's so important that they pulled it because they don't have the votes to pass it. I mean, I will say, Mr. Speaker, my Republican friends are demonstrating to the country what the definition of incompetence is. I mean, they don't know how to run this place, and they can't pass appropriation bills. I mean, I'm looking at FY 2024. I mean, they had the agriculture appropriation bill fail on the floor. They pulled 3 appropriation bills before final passage because they didn't have the votes to pass it. There were failed rules on appropriation measures. The defense rule last year failed twice. And again, 2 of the bills we had testimony on the Rules Committee where members actually filed amendments were pulled because they can't even get support within their own conference. That's the definition of incompetence. I mean, you talk about a campaign rally. The campaign rally is going to be later today in the Rules Committee when Republicans are going to call an emergency meeting to pass a resolution bashing Vice President Kamala Harris. So don't give me any lectures about campaign rallies because I've never seen a more politically motivated majority in my life. So, I mean, this is not the way this place is supposed to be run. And none of these bills, including the 2 that my friends are bringing to the floor today, are serious. They're going nowhere. They will never become law. This is ridiculous, and it is a waste of time. It is pathetic. Mr. Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentlewoman from Florida, Ms. Castor.